So let's start off with the most important question if you are interested into becoming a pagan. And that is, what is a pagan? Well, first off, paganism is an umbrella term. It is meaning that there are many of smaller belief systems that are related underneath it. And there are a lot, because you have your Celts, your Norse, your Egyptian, Greek, Roman, Italian, there is a difference, and all that. And so that is what the umbrella is. Now, there are many definitions for paganism, and unfortunately, that sometimes causes some animosity. Now, if you look at the dictionary, paganism is any belief system that is not of the Abrahamic beliefs, which was created by Christians. Okay, so what they're saying is if it's not Jewish, Christian, or Islam, it's pagan. Now, we have to learn that we have to make our own decisions. We have to make our own definition that fits what paganism really is. Now, my personal definition of paganism is any belief system that predates Christianity that has origin based into ancient Europe and the Mediterranean area. I got a map right here. I'll show you what I'm referring to. Now, the limitation is there for a reason. You see, the world is covered with different religious beliefs, and we can't just be grabbing every religion and throwing it together and saying it's paganism. We need to have respect for other belief systems. Now, you can thank Helena Blavatsky and her Theosophy Society that was trying to come up with her own view of world religions. She was trying to state that all religions revert to one, and the one was Christianity. Yeah. And so what she was doing was she was traveling Asia and bringing back all the Eastern esoteric religions and beliefs, and was bringing them back to Europe. And a lot of those influence got put into paganism. That is why if you go look at a lot of modern paganism books, they talk about like karma. Karma is a Hindu concept. It does not originate in Europe and around the Mediterranean. So Hindus' concept of karma is not pagan. Okay, we have to have a degree of separation out of respect for our ancestors' old beliefs and for other religions' beliefs. Okay, we have to learn to have these limitations out of respect for others and for ourselves. If you also grab from so many other belief systems, you are going to take away from what was the core of the basis religion. Like for me, I studied the Celtic ways. Now, I would be taken away from the Celtic beliefs in some ways if I was decided to take some Buddhism, because I think like 2 or 3 points of Buddhism is like cool, and then implement them in my beliefs. It would be counterproductive to the Celtic ways because there would be some differences. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, but they say we can do whatever you want. And you can have freedom, but even freedom comes with some form of restraints. And I was trying to think of the best way to explain it. And for all of my science fiction friends out there, it's like me going, "May the force be with you." Okay, what did I just do for those who don't understand? "May the force be with you" is from Star Wars. This is from Star Trek. Spock made this very well popular, live long and prosper. So I put Star Wars and Star Trek together, and and if you believe into Star Trek or Star Wars, as your favorite, I insulted your favorite. And that's what the example is for when we're mixing religions. That's why we have to come up with a more clear definition of what paganism is. Now, do some of these other religions have some similarities with paganism? Yes. I have a dear friend who is Native American, and I sent her a book about Celtic spirituality, and she noticed that there was a lot of similarities, and I thought that was cool. But we also have to respect them because their beliefs are very sacred to them. They did not want them to go out and about for everybody. So, Native Americans have their belief system, their umbrella term. The Hindus have their own umbrella. That is a standalone religion. So we need to define paganism as a set geography as well. And for me, it is Europe and the Mediterranean area. So, how did the word pagan came to be is now what I want to talk to you about. And that is, it was part of class warfare. You see, when Christianity was still spreading out in some areas that it was believed to be in the English areas, the city folk were Christians while the country folk were still pagans. And so the city folks were going, oh, those pagans, as a form of insult. It is what happens here in the United States when we call people hillbilly or redneck. The same darn thing. Pagan just means, in Latin, country dweller. So they were making fun of the country people and in their minds, their backwards ways. Okay? Sorry. Now, in my videos, I want to talk to you about pagan spirituality over magic. What that means is I want to talk to you mostly about how the pagans lived, how they believed, how they interacted with the world, how they perceived the world. Because that's what the spirituality part is. And their spirituality is very important, and it does affect their magic as well. But you see, every culture has their own unique spiritual aspect. And so we have to study their spirituality, their culture in better detail. Because this is one I enjoyed the most, and that is the difference between the Greeks and the Celts. You see, the Greeks, they like to divide everything up into their prime components. You hear about the elementals, earth, air, fire, water, air, and spirit. Okay, well, that's how the Greeks did it. Whereas the Celts, they did it with the air, the land, and the sea. They believed in the three realms, which were composed of all the elements, and that's the beautiful difference between two cultures. And because of these two differences, there's a difference in their spirituality. And so that's what we need to study. So a pagan is somebody that has a pre-Christian belief system that is from Europe or the Mediterranean area. They believe in honoring the earth. They believe in having balance. Most of these, if not all of these, are polytheists, meaning that they followed many gods and goddesses. Various areas had different views on women. The Greeks were kind of pricks and all that. They had the females, stay silent and stay out of sight. Whereas the Celts, they were a lot more open. They had many instances where a woman can choose her mate. If she is the one that has the most money going into the marriage, she is the one who decides how the money is spent. She can inherit property. She can govern. We talk about Queen Boudicca, who was the queen of the Iceni, who led a massive massacre against the Romans. Okay, so for the Celts, women were equals, and so that is an important part of their spirituality. So take the time and research that culture that you are interested in. I myself am Scotch-Irish with a little bit of German in me, and so I follow the Celtic ways. So I do not know what your heredity is, but follow that one first. Learn from it. Learn where your roots came from. You'll learn that that's very important. So that is enough there for my first video on the new series. So everybody, take care. Be at peace.